challenge for us. We had so many freshmen on the floor, but now they understand what it takes to win. Let's see if they can close out with a nice win here in the Irwin Center. So Texas starts off with the ball. Harmon, quickly. First shot, no good. Your starting lineups brought to you by Capital One, and it's all led by the freshman of the year out of the Big 12, Rory Harmon, who has been so impressive throughout this entire season. Led the Longhorns to a 27-6 overall record to this point. On the other side, you have Utah starting five, Gianna Neepkins, as we featured in the Open, along with Drew Gilton, who you really like because she is a facilitator and can handle the rock.
I got excited last game, Angel. She dropped a couple of dimes. It was around her head, around everybody, but nice. Back cut right there. That's a great connection by Johnson and Neepkins to start it off.
Jenna Johnson walked away with 12 points. She had 0 assists, but finding her teammate on the back door, that's something that they've been working on in shoot-around. Trying to figure out ways to expose this Texas defense. Volley shot no good. Pushing in transition. Kennedy McQueen. She had 20 points last game. Shot outside, that's one's no good by Jenna Johnson. Texas still looking for their first bucket of this ball game. Ebo at the top of the key. She's currently guarded by Kelsey Reese. Seeing how they're trying to compact on the inside. Not somewhat of a zone, but Rory Harmon. Too much space for her, she knocks it down.
Yeah, she really has a nice pull-up game to her, really composed, just gets into her spots with a nice 1-2 pull-up, always on balance and on target.
Texas looking to move on to their second consecutive Sweet 16. They advanced the Elite Eight last year after taking down the number 3 seed UCLA and number 2 seed Maryland. So let's see if they can get it done. As far as Utah, you can see how they are just executing at a very high level to start the ball game.
Well, we saw last game Fairfield against Texas. They hurt them in the backdoor, knowing they're going to be in the passing lanes. And 2 of their scores already, they hit them with backdoors, kind of loosen up their offense from their passing lanes.
Joanne Taylor with the bucket on the baseline. You can see off of all makes, they're going to pressure you full court. We'll see if they can handle the pressure. Rory Harmon picks up full court. Tough assignment with Drew Gilton. Neepkins looking for a lane. Pull up. Rims around, no good. Ebo with the rebound. A dish ahead, that one's no good to Gaston. But Texas will get the ball underneath.
One thing about Texas, they get the nice rebound. They're going to push in transition, try to get easy scores. I know Vic Schaefer talked about it, trying not to have those turnovers, but good play there.
Another bucket. Joanne Taylor with 4 points. Mid-range queen. So Texas with the 2-point lead. Gets to the corner. Corner shot no good. This is a bit different for Utah. They started off making their first 5 buckets, had 5 different players score as well. So it's very interesting to see how they're going to respond after that amazing performance we saw in the first round. And for Vic Schaefer, he's been here a time or two in his second year. NCAA title game. 2-time National Coach of the Year, and he's just been so amazing. Back-to-back Final Fours with Mississippi State in 17 and 18. He's a winner. His players said the same thing as well. He said, I want them to understand how I'm challenging them because he knows what it takes to win. Holly with the ball. Texas has scored the last 2 buckets. Neepkins going right at Ebo, kiss off the glass and gets it to go.
Sometimes Utah has to make drives to the basket to loosen up their defense, get into the paint, suck the defense in, maybe kick out to shooters. But you've seen great drives happen by these guards.
Utah in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2011. But we got to go to Jo Allen Taylor, who has been lights out. 6 points for her already.
Yeah, she's had a nice mid-range game herself.
3 for 4 from the field. Neepkins once again, but that's blocked by Gaston. And that will stay with Utah. An electric start as we are underway.
Yeah, great back cut there by Utah. They're going to have to loosen up this defense if they want to get a win.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Well, 16 years ago today in 2006, the 5th-seeded Utes erased a 15-point deficit to defeat Arizona State 86-65 and advance to the Sweet 16. Their tourney run would end in the Elite Eight to eventually the champion of Maryland. And if you're looking at how focused they are coming into this tournament, well, the first round is indicative of that. 92 points they scored, 15 made threes, and they tied Florida Gulf Coast for the most three-pointers made in the first round of the tournament. And we already know Florida Gulf Coast beat Virginia Tech as well. Let's take a look at Lynn Roberts, and she's just known around the league as the program builder. In her 7th year, she told us there's no room for complacency, challenging her team to be better each year. In her first 6 seasons, she had 3 postseason appearances, but this is the first NCAA appearance since 2011.
Yeah, I love how she interacts with their players, has so much confidence in them. They just don't get their threes from all the plays she calls, but they are able to get their stuff in transition, penetrate and kick, and do a really good job of just reading each other.
Rory Harmon with a nice pull-up. And it's a race. Harmon is trying to track it down with Deja Young, and it's actually going to go with Texas.
Wow, I don't know about that one.
Foul.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I felt like it was just 2 players going to hustle after the loose ball. I think you should play that one out. Those are those 50-50 balls that, you know, make the difference in a game, especially in the postseason.
See Lynn Roberts on the sideline, still with her jaw dropped and trying to figure out what that call was. Here's Texas with the ball. High ball screen by Ebo. Matharu. She can do that.
That was one player that Coach Lynn Roberts talked about. We can't leave her open on the 3-point line, and as soon as she checks into the game, she knocks down an open 3.
How hot is Texas right now? They've hit their last 7 buckets. And a quick response by Kennedy McQueen. She had 20 points in the first round. Doesn't seem like she's cooled off.
Yeah, I'm questioning if they should have went under on that ball screen, knowing what she's able to do behind those screens.
Matharu. Covered like a glove on that one. Ebo took one too many steps. Crowd thought it was an and one. Instead, Utah's going to get the ball back.
Yeah, she gets a nice post entry there, ducks in, but it takes that extra little hop to gather herself. So good call by the referees.
Drew Gilton, the top of the key, going at Rory Harmon. Dish in the corner to Neepkins. Neepkins a little long on the shot. Rory Harmon coming out, 5'6", pushing it forward. Finds Jo Allen Taylor for another bucket. Allen Taylor has 8 of Texas's 17 points. A dish on the inside. Reese quiets the crowd.
And they do a good job of running their actions, running their pin down actions on the weak side. If they're over helping a little bit, they drive the penetrating lane. And nice dish. We had last play, you saw a dish from the baseline. Now You see she driving and a little dish off to Reese in the middle. So good penetrating kick options for Utah.
Gasson with a little high low to Ebo. Ebo over the left shoulder, short. Utah down 3. McQueen asks for the 3 and she gets it. Ties the ball game.
You have to know when they're penetrating the lane, you cannot leave McQueen.
We were having a discussion about this in shoot-around, just how tough it was going to be for Texas because of the balance of Utah, getting it done on the inside, and obviously lethal from outside. Matharu mishandles, goes out of bounds, and it goes to the Utes. A couple of substitutions come in for both squads.
That was a little okey-doke move by Gilson. I remember doing that in the league a few times, get beat. I'm like, I'm okay, coach, I'm okay. It's our steal, though. It's our steal.
So Aaliyah Moore checks in for the Longhorns. She's coming off of a pretty impressive career high, 18 points, her first career double-double as well. Another freshman in a bright spot for the Longhorns. Jenna Johnson. Matharu runs the lane and gets another layup. Matharu had 7 points in the first round. Right now she's sitting at 5. She's perfect from the floor. McQueen dishes it off to Maxwell. Maxwell dishes it off, but not before an offensive foul is called. And who's in the way? Matharu steps in and takes the charge.
That's one way to get it done, to make sure they don't drive in case for 3. Step right in. That is a veteran move, knowing that that point guard is going to drive the lane, and their momentum takes them into Matharu. Great play by her defensively.
Rick Schaefer told us it all starts on the defensive end. Take care of business on that side first. The rest will fall into place. So far, they're getting the job done. Harmon rises up again and short. Deja Young can't connect at the top of the key. Less than 30 seconds left in this first quarter. It's been a fast quarter. Great pace to start the ball game off as well. Harmon at the top of the key. Of course, they'll hold the ball for the last shot of the quarter. Matharu gets the handoff. Harmon gets it back. Fumbles the ball. 1 on the shot clock. And that'll do it for the first quarter.
Both teams pushing the pace. Allen Taylor and McQueen trying to keep a minute. 17-19 at the end of the first. Nice pull up there. Let's see if Texas can continue it.
Right now, Texas giving us a show, but it's a good one. They're up 2 over Utah. But how about Rory Harmon, who has been so impressive, needed 3 assists to get in this one to take over for the leading assist in program in a single season.
Rory Harmon has done an excellent job of either getting the rebound and pushing or getting the high outlet and hitting the wing runners. She's been able to do that. She's a big part of how their transition moves, and she's done a great job so far.
And then you see her parents to cheer on their daughter, the Harmons, in the building. She didn't grow up too far from here. Cypress Creek High School from Houston, Texas, and assists 169. You see that, Chelsea. A freshman record. She had 6 in this quarter, the first quarter alone.
Yeah, that's a great leadership right there. I mean, it's already hard to come in as a freshman, but to come in as a freshman point guard, and now you have to take care of the whole team. That's a big task she has.
So a turnover for Utah. But going back to Rory Harmon.
Yeah,
just
very tough penetration there as she saw 2 people as soon as she got into the paint.
Rory Harmon coming off of a double-double where she had 11 assists, 10 points in the first round. Another phenom for Texas, freshman Aaliyah Moore. Isabel Palmer pushing it around a bit. And Texas right now has just done a really good job with really limiting Utah to one chance on the glass. They're winning that department 9-6. Alan Taylor, who has been hot to start, already has 8 points. Matharu with 5 on the shot clock, a dish underneath, and that's blocked. Deja Young with the block on the other end, and unfortunate, a turnover. He's trying to do too much in transition.
Yeah, once you get a stop and you're able to go in transition, Deja Young does a good job of sucking inside after the help by Johnson and starts the break, but you have to be able to execute in those transition moments. Those are big building blocks for your team if you're able to convert on those.
Baseline drive. Joe Allen Taylor just left wide open. She misses it. But Aaliyah Moore said, I got your back.
Instant offense as soon as she comes into the game.
Gilton has yet to get on the board. She already has 2 assists. She had 11 in the first game. Deja Young going right at Warren, and that's deflected. Harmon on the pull-up, and it's good. Are you surprised? The freshman phenom, Rory Harmon, doing what she needs to do to get this crowd on their feet. The last ball game in this arena, Texas taking care of business. You see the sign, Texas women basketball making history. Can they get it done? Well, so far they're taking care of business. And their freshman phenom with Rory Harmon. She's not playing like she's a freshman. This is the biggest stage, and you can see the accolades that she's already picked up in year 1.
Rory Harmon has this poise about her when she's out there on the floor. Leading her squad as a freshman is no easy task. Commanding her team while also calling her own number.
It's very interesting. Vic Schaefer said, you come in here, your challenge, it's not just about you. You have to make everyone else better as a freshman too. And I know that you've been in that position a time or two in your career. But for her to handle it with such poise as you mentioned is impressive. A nice response on the inside, trying to get Jenna Johnson going for Utah. Jenna Johnson now with 4 points. Alan Taylor is hot to start, 8 points in the first quarter. Her and Rory have 14 of the 25 points for Texas, but Aaliyah Moore is definitely emerging on her own.
Vic Schaefer talked about that exact play at shoot-around today, that they were going to over-help, and you would have that lane right on the lane line.
This shot for Utah, the dish to Matharu. Turns down the 3, likes to drive, instead he gets the bucket. How about the stare down? Point lead for Texas. Gilton looking for some help, finds it in Neepkins. Neepkins almost dribbled it off her foot. A lot of bodies. Texas comes out with the ball. Harmon dishes. Matharu dishes again. Harmon tried to save it back in bounds. That'll be a turnover for Texas. They've been all over the floor, Chelsea.
That was a little bit of overpassing, just trying to share the wealth a little bit. I guess you would rather have that mistake than too many shots, but just great effort on the defensive end that leads to the opportunities to make some good shots in transition. Just couldn't get that one to go.
And a dead ball turnover is always better than live ball at this point for Utah. Both teams can get up and down. Gilton left alone. Can she get the bucket? Too much. Texas has hit their last 4 field goals. Alan Taylor Warren tried to see if she can get more on the block. Airmailed it. Kennedy McQueen just dishes it off so quick. Neepkins covered by 2 players. Great defense to get back, and that's a primary thing because Utah has weapons all over the floor.
I mean, I mentioned that they're able to score in transition off of a made basket or a miss, and so that's the second backdoor cut. I love that being able to hit their aggressive defense and combat that with great cuts backdoor, but Texas doing a good job of limiting their opportunities to get threes off in these last couple of minutes.
In game 1, Utah was shooting 50% from the three-point line. They're only 33% to this point, 3 of 9. So night and day from what we saw in the first round. This team, when they get hot, it's red hot. McQueen, those are the buckets that they need, the plays that they need on the defensive end.
Yeah, you don't see them up in the passing lanes too much like Texas defense, but when they're able to get those deflections and easy score, they have to capitalize on them.
Moore going right at Jenna Johnson and gets that ball to go.
That's another lane line drive, and that's what Big Schaefer wanted out of Aaliyah Moore. And fast-paced game we have here in Austin, Texas. Aaliyah Moore putting them on the board, doing a good job coming into this ball game.
If I had a crystal ball, I'd shake it all up till I get it all. 'Cause I can see.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. It's brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. The Frank Irwin Center has been home to Texas for the men and women's basketball team since 1977. So many different memories that have been made. You can see there, right there, Jody Conrad, a legend. Coach women's basketball here for 31 years, won their lone NCAA title back in '86. 2-time Big 12 regular season titles, currently the special assistant to the women's AD. She actually played at Baylor, so just mentioning the rivalry across the way, but they mention how much experience and how exciting it is to play in this building, and they've taken care of it. 7 straight games that they've won in this building.
There's a lot of history being here, and I know this Texas team is really fighting for this last game to be a special one.
Five on the shot clock. Warren gets the ball back, reverses it, and actually is able to draw the foul. Kennedy McQueen will take a trip to the bench. She has 2 personal fouls. That is 2 fouls right now on Utah as well. Warren steps up to the free throw line, one of the seniors on this roster out of Fort Worth, Texas.
If you take a look at one of these stats, 16-0 on bench points, and a lot of that stems from Aaliyah Moore and her ability to come in off the bench and make an immediate impact.
And they just seem quicker and faster to the bucket. Look how Aaliyah Moore is just fighting underneath the rim. Aaliyah Moore talked about why she chose Texas. She said she watched them go to the Elite Eight last year while she was at home with her mom, and she said, why did I leave Oklahoma? Because I knew I could win in Texas and understood what she needed to be in order to advance with this team, playing in her first NCAA game just a year ago, cheering the Longhorns on. Gianna Neepkins Only 4 points at this point, 2 for 5 from the field. But I think the more telling sign is only 3 threes from Utah. Reese looking for some help. Maxwell hovered at the top of the key. 5 on the shot clock. Just goes straight through the hands of Reese.
Yeah, just a very choppy offensive possession for the Utes.
6 turnovers for Utah. They're being challenged with one of the top defenses in the nation, the best in the Big 12. A dish off to Leah Moore.
Man, Leah Moore came to play today. She is hooping, ready for everything. Rebounding the basketball there as an outlet as the guards penetrate the lane and kick. She's been a definite energy booster for this team.
How about the dish from Alan Taylor, though? Deja Young. Utes are desperate for a bucket, down 13. Maxwell gets the responding bucket. They needed that one, and it makes it a 10-point game.
I think they heard you over here. You have some special power with your mic.
You think so? Leah Moore.
She hooping. She hooping. She came to play today, Angel.
And that's just been the telltale sign right now. The pressure is just a little bit too much for Utah with their 7th turnover. Alan Taylor gets the bucket to go. What more do you want, Longhorn fans? Close to another turnover. We're going to have some substitutions as Isabel Palmer checks into the ball game. And coming up at halftime, Degree in the studio around the bracket, as well as the first half highlights. Elle Duncan, Rebecca Lobo, and Nikki Fargas will walk us through what all of those points are. But here in Austin, the Longhorns are taking care of business, 40-26 with 2:16 left in this half. Maxwell, you want to see her get hot. Two on the shot clock. The bank shot for desperation. She puts her hands in the air, but she'll take it. Drew Gilton now has 4 points.
She also has 4 assists with 1 turnover for this squad. Very key component for their offense, being able to play against this pressure and really slice and dice these opponents. As a slice and dice of her own for Rory Harmon, and a nice dime for a finish for Natasha Lattimore when she checked into the game. I think that's a good point for Big Schaefer. You exchange one freshman for the other and able to get it done.
That's what this team has always been about. He said, I'm working on their maturity, but so far they're handling this moment well. Reese with the response. Approaching the 1-minute mark. You having fun, Chelsea?
I'm loving this action. We have some dimes going on, and you know that gets me excited, Angel.
An illegal screen on the backside by Latasha Lattimore. So a turnover for Texas. Well, the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, you'll have that action Friday, March 25th, and then Monday, March 28th. You're looking at your regions there, Final Four. That's what I'm excited about. That's April 1st, 7 to 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. And that championship ball game, 8 Eastern on ESPN. All games on the ESPN app. All that action going down in Minneapolis. All roads lead to Minneapolis. One of these teams will be able to punch their ticket and continue to advance in the dance. Maxwell had 7 threes the previous game, and right now she's struggling from deep. Only 1 for 3, but that's a testament too to the defense for Texas. 15 seconds left on the game clock, 8 on the shot clock. Matharu. Warren finds Ebo. Ebo turns around and gets the bucket as the shot clock was dwindling. 2 seconds left. Gilton, full court, can't get it to go, and the Texas Longhorns have the 44-30 lead at the half.
Yeah, just great effort by Texas. And we reach the half here at Austin with our score 44-30. Now here's Elle Duncan with our halftime report.
On fire, they've hit their last 10 shots. How impressive is that when you're looking at how efficient they've been in their offense while also getting things done on the defensive end?
Yeah, they've had a great attack of inside and out. Guards coming off screens effectively to draw help. Post doing a good job of sealing inside and also being ready for the guard drop-offs.
Utah held to 36% from the three-point line. They've knocked down 4 already. Rory Harmon shows us her shot from distance.
And you see here they switch up the lineup a little bit. You see that Aaliyah Moore gets the start in the second half instead of Lauren Ebo. Very productive in that first half.
Clean short on the shot, and you mentioned Ebo. Just with Aaliyah Moore subbing in for her for the different look from the starters.
Audrey Warren also out there instead of Shea Holly. Been very effective on both ends, and I think I spoke into existence. I had a little power from you, Angel.
You did. I like that a lot. Well, how about this on the other end? Jenna Johnson, that's probably the easiest bucket she's going to see all night. Jenna Johnson, Pac-12 All-Tournament honors, her first time Uta's earned those honors. With career high 27 points earlier in the season. They want to get her going, but Aaliyah Moore, you mentioned it. You get to start the second half with play like that.
She does a good job of using her body, going into the defense. Good seal right here. Nice 2 dribbles, effective, able to hang in the air a little bit, and one with a little bit of, put respect on my name, Angel.
Aaliyah Moore, she had 14 points. All of them to this point were in the second quarter. So she has been on fire. A big boost for this team. It was very interesting about Aaliyah Moore too. She had an injury that kept her out for 7 weeks. She returned, she missed all of December, later part of November, and coach says she's still dealing with that, but the fact that she can be back with her squad, you can see the impact that she can make. Utes on the other end, looking for some offense, down 20. Reese, jump stop, needs help, 7 on the shot clock. Bailed out by a foul. Alan Taylor disagrees. Either way, the clock will reset. Utah will get the ball back. And that's the second time that Utah has turned the ball over on an inbound. 8 turnovers for Utah, but it's been even. Texas sitting at 7 as well. We know the pace of this game has been so fast. Are you pleased with what you're seeing, even from Texas?
I am. I think both teams are playing to their strengths and what they believe will get them done. As another bucket by Aaliyah Moore in the right place at the right time every single time today.
Aaliyah Moore, last game, had her season high 18 points. We're just a few minutes into the third quarter, Chelsea, and she's already sitting at 19 points, a new career high for Aaliyah Moore. Picks up the foul, and that's her 3rd personal foul, something to keep your eye out on.
As soon as you said it, Ebo coming to the scores table to protect her for this second half.
She gets the round of applause as she takes the trip to the bench. Gianna Neepkins, the team's leading scorer right now. She only has 4 points. 5 on the shot clock. Kennedy McQueen for the take and draws the foul. She'll step up to the free throw line.
Yeah, she really does a nice jab step here, able to get inside the paint, slithers in there, and just Matharu trying to contest the layup and hits her on the arm.
Had 6 threes in the previous game. Kennedy McQueen just could light it up from anywhere on the court, but the thing that I like about her ball game is that she can do other things. You take away the 3, she can take you off the bounce as well.
Yeah, she really does a good job of staying tight on her curls, coming off those pin downs. And if they're chasing her, she just puts the ball down, puts her head down, and gets into the paint like she just did in that play and got fouled.
20-point ball game, but if you know Utah and very familiar with them, you know that they're going to continue to dig this one out. A lot on the line. They want to see this group, their first Sweet 16. Matharu has a different idea. Matharu entered this game shooting 41% from the three-point line, averaging 12 points for this team. And their foul actually is going to be stay with Utah. So we've seen a couple of different looks from Utah, trying to free themselves up on the shot. Nothing there for Gianna Neepkins. She struggled throughout the day. Warren tracks it down, seeing if she can dish it on the inside to Ebo. Ebo hovered, but draws the foul. Drew Gilson picks up her first personal foul. So Ebo will step up to the free throw line. Have another freshman check in for the Longhorns. Kendall Hunter coming in. As Rory Harmon will get a breather. So Evo, the transfer from Penn State out of Washington, D.C. At the free throw line, about a 67% free throw shooter. And knocks down the second one. Utah got outscored 19-17 in the first quarter, 25-13 in the second, and right now have only scored 4 points here in the third quarter. Neepkins guarded by Matharu, and that might go off her foot, and you can see the energy from Matharu. I think she has more energy in that than when she gets a bucket, Chelsea.
I mean, I stood up right here. I thought she was coming towards me for a chest bump because I was ready. I was ready. That's just great energy. That's how you feed energy to this crowd and to the rest of your team.
So how does Utah get out of this slump?
I think they really have to execute offensively, get some stops defensively, whether they're in a man or a zone, but not able to get a stop on that possession. They're having a hard time execute in the half court because they're in the passing lanes, they're deflecting passes, and that's what this Texas defense will do.
Chelsea, they're shooting 76% from the floor, 75% from the three-point line, taking care of business on the defensive end. They get the steal. Matharu dishes it off. Alan Taylor short on the shot, and you could assume the roof would have been blown off of this building if she were to hit that one.
And you saw that this crowd was ready for another great play offensively as Johnson couldn't get the layup to go.
Less than 5 minutes in this third quarter. The Longhorn faithful enjoying what they're seeing from the squad to this point. Kendall Hunter on the drive. Warren tried to go behind her back and just lost the handle. Gilton. Warren almost came up with a steal. Instead, Utah is going to get the ball back.
Yeah, Texas doing a good job of taking control of this game.
The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One is brought to you by Jersey Mike's. Subs, be a sub above. Welcome back to Utah in an uphill battle as they're down 60-34 with 4:32 left in this third quarter. Well, if there's a team that has built their identity on digging their way all the way until they find the diamond, it's this one. After they lost in regular season play against Arizona, Coach challenged her team to be better and just find ways to finish the drill. As she said, no room for complacency. Continue to find your way until you get the trophy. And they said a couple of players, even in when they got to their first Pac-12 title game, we got the diamond. Now we have to continue to improve on it. They'll have to do some digging in this one tonight, Chelsea. Yeah,
it's a great sign of a good coach when you find stories and graphics that really resonate with your team. So in those huddles, that's what she's mentioning. So let's see if her players can have that mentality and make a push to end this third quarter.
For that bucket, going back to the second quarter, Chelsea, I mean, Texas just on a crazy run, 41-17. We're seeing a Utah squad that's still trying to figure out the Texas defense. They've been everywhere on the floor. Warren denied underneath, 14 left on the shot clock. That's tipped by Vieta, 5 left. Joe, short. Foul is going to be called on the floor. So Kelsey Reese picks up her second personal. For Utah, their bench doesn't go too deep as far as the interior presence. So Leah Moore has done her work as well as Ebo underneath. Points in the paint, 28-18 for Texas. Jenna Johnson, one of 2 players actually for Utah in double figures. We saw how Kennedy McQueen was carrying the load in the first half. We'll see if they can get more from her, but Matharu, the junior, she's so crafty getting to her shot.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times where she just puts her head down, gets her shoulder past the defender, and is able to finish in the paint.
Outside kick, much needed bucket. This one no good for Palmer. And a foul is actually going to go against Kelsey Reese. I think that Reese is going to pick up her third personal foul.
That one, she was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. The ball came off a little funky, so her hand was just in the way of Lauren Ebo. So unfortunate foul there.
Offensive foul called on the play, so Utah will get it back. And we mentioned throughout this broadcast how Texas, for any team, just shows up in the game against Fairfield. Coach Schaefer said it was a wake-up call for them. He said, I'm not taking anything away from Fairfield. They're champions regular season and in the MAC as well. But his team needed to see that, and you're seeing a lot more energy from this team in the second round.
There was just a big energy shift in them from game 1 to game 2, and you can really feel that, and it's reflective in the score today.
A nice board for Utah. Jenna Johnson now with 12 points. But only 4 threes from Utah. Warren dishes it off, tried to find Ebo. Reese might have gotten away with the travel. The game plays on. Maxwell driving baseline, tried to go behind her back, and with this Texas defense, they'll make you pay. Another turnover for Utah.
Yeah, good call here by Rory Harmon just to settle it down. They need to get a good shot on goal. That's what Vic Schaefer has been talking about their point guards being able to control the pace of the game.
Alan Taylor, short on the shot. Vieta trying to go all the way for herself. That just gets pokes from behind. And Aaliyah Moore checks back in. Reminder, she does have the 3 fouls. Rory Harmon checks out, as well as Warren for Texas.
As she kind of limps to the bench, something to keep an eye on there.
Jenna Johnson scored the last 2 buckets for Utah, and just another turnover. The entire time, Matharu has just been all over the floor.
She was the first one to the floor, Angel, and that's what you want out of your players if you're Vic Schaefer.
Matharu dishes it into Ebo. Ebo bounces around, and she gets it to go. Matharu all over the floor, almost gets another turnover. She does, retrieves it. Going at McQueen, nothing there. Alan Taylor just pulls things out after she gets the steal, and they can hold for the last second. Last shot of the 3rd quarter. Ebo asks for the ball underneath, gets it. Doesn't get it to go, but she'll step to the free throw line. How about Matharu? She was recruited by Vic Schaefer. She played under him as a freshman with Mississippi State, chose to come to Texas because she understood how he challenged her to be better, playing some of her best basketball tonight.
He has to be happy with her play on both ends of the floor. She's gotten deflection. She's the first one on the floor for loose balls, gotten easy buckets, got into the lane, let the game come to her. Very, very solid game thus far for Matharu.
A sigh of disappointment from the crowd on the free throws. That was one area where Coach challenges team to be better from the free throw line in the previous game.
Yeah, right now they're sitting at 5 for 10, so 50% from the free throw line. I know he wishes he could have those 5 points on the board.
They missed 10 in the first round against Fairfield, went 6 for 26. It's going back to even Rory Harmon. She had a double-double, 11 assists and 10 points, and 2 turnovers, and Coach said that's one area she should be better. 7 seconds left. Reese gets it and gets the bucket. 1 second left, and that's actually going to conclude the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, hopefully that layup can give some momentum to Utah, able to maybe make a little stretch here. It has to make a little run. Defense leading to easy offense.
And if you don't know, now you know. They are first in the Big 12 in defense. You can see how they're doing so incredible at this point. But my goodness, they've done very well with just scoring on both ends of the floor, but also defensively, we've seen them just giving Utah everything they can handle. The dish off inside to Reese. 9 left on the shot clock. Palmer thought she had some daylight. Matharu said,
I like that when I was in awe, Angel. I was just sitting here looking at Matharu like, that's the hustle we love to see in college basketball. She's been making play after play just like that one to have her squad energized.
Matharu going right at Young. Matharu with 14 points and an offensive foul is called against the Utes.
Look at this emphatic block, but not only does she block it, she keeps it in bounds, able to push the pace. Ooh, she's about to hit a nice behind the back dribble there.
You wanted more out of that play, I see.
Yeah, I wanted her to go
all
up.
the way through.
Yeah, up and under everything.
Matharu has exceeded her season average. She averages about 12 and will take a trip to the bench She sits at 14. 6 for 7 from the field. She's only missed 1 shot. And oh, by the way, has 5 rebounds to add to it. Ebo really wants the ball on the inside. Alan Taylor weaving around, and Rory Harmon just continues to build on this lead.
Yeah, nice silky smooth penetration and floater over the top. You know, at her size, the floater has to be a key component to her game, or a nice pull-up game, and she has both, and she's been able to do that on the offensive end.
Kennedy McQueen responds with the 3. She's their leading scorer to this point, 16 points. You can see how she's trying to engage and fire her team up a bit. They have about 8 minutes left in this ball game to make some magic happen. Holly gets the ball on the baseline and gets it to go. This team just can't miss.
Well, nice kick out there for Lauren Ebo. She saw that she was getting some extra attention from the backside and able to pass out, and they were able to knock it down.
Palmer dishes it off. Vieta for the 3, rolls around and she gets it.
You saw Rory Harmon in there trying to get another charge called. She's already had 2 off the pass.
See the pace starting to slow down for Rory Harmon. Settle everything. Time is on their side at this point. Alan Taylor short. She's been short on the last couple of shots. She started off so hot in her first 8. So Utah shooting 33% from the 3-point line. Yesterday we were in awe that they were shooting 70 or more %, all in the second half from distance. Excuse me, on Friday. And Holly, the hometown hero right out of Austin, Texas. Back-to-back buckets for her. So now we've just got a little bout of trading buckets at this point, but it's not going to play in the favor of Utah if they continue to let this go on.
Yeah, Utah really has to string together some stops. When for our team in the WNBA, we always say, let's go, our goal is try to get 3 stops in a row. We had drills trying to instill that mentality into it, so I hope that's what they're thinking on the defensive end.
Vieta trapped, and Aaliyah Moore almost ran and had a pick 6. Young dishes it out. Kennedy McQueen to the bucket. She's been their anchor so far in this ball game.
A lot of times when they haven't been able to score, the ball gets into Kennedy McQueen's hands and she makes something happen.
18 points, 6 for 9 from the field. She has 4 trays in this ball game. Holly looking for more. Rolls off the front end, and there's going to be a foul that's going to go against Ebo. That's her second personal foul. Well, the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship first round continues tonight on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. Visit NCAA.com for more information. You've seen upsets on both sides. How about Iowa going down today?
I don't know if anybody really counted on Creighton, but just a great job by them. They played a full game, able to get it done on both ends of the floor.
Creighton will find themselves in the Sweet 16 game for the first time in program history. A couple of upsets last night. I know that we were texting back and forth about it. South Dakota beat Ole Miss. Belmont even over Oregon in double overtime. Five on the shot clock for Rory Harmon. She'll have to heave it from 3. Nothing there, so that's going to be a shot clock violation.
Well, Texas up 20. Let's see if Utah can make a run to end this basketball game.
Well, the NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Last year in the bubble in San Antonio, Texas was a 6 seed facing 3 seed UCLA in the second round. They were led by Celeste Taylor's season-high 24 points. The Longhorns moved on to the Sweet 16. That final score is 71-62. And we have to talk about who's been achieving the impossible. This is presented by Adidas, and you know who that person is? Rory Harmon, who has been unbelievable. First round, 11 assists today, Chelsea. You pleased with the 8 assists tonight?
You know I love my assists. And she's doing an excellent job of finding that balance of when to dish it off and when to call her own number. And that's the balance that point guards always has to have in their head, knowing when and who to give the basketball to and when it's like you're the best option.
It's been a struggle offensively for Utah throughout this entire ball game. Now they're shooting 51% from the field, but it's a 3-ball that really hurt Arkansas in the first round, and another turnover. Another stat that stands out for Utah, this is a season low 16 rebounds as well. Ebo has about 4 jerseys around her, still wanted the ball, but weapons everywhere for Texas.
Yeah, Leah Moore has been super solid for Vic Shaper. She now has 21 points and 5 rebounds, but doing it on both ends as well, getting into the passing lanes and getting good things to go offensively.
And building on her career high, we talked about her being able to come back, a 2-time Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year. She watched them go to the Elite 8 last year at home. She said, I want to be a part of that program. So now she's about 3 minutes away from doing just that. Shot clock violation by Utah. Texas causes another turnover. They'll get the ball about midcourt. I feel like Matharu has been in every situation on the defensive end. I know that we highlighted Rory Harmon, but we have to give Matharu her credit. Defensively, she's been a tear. Harmon taking a little air out of the ball at the top of the key. Attacking at 10. Weaves in a little bit. A little too hard off the glass.
And that's Matharu again, making plays for this Texas defense.
All right, well, let's look at our difference makers brought to you by CarMax. We couldn't pick one, so we decided to go with the entire bench for Texas, 42 points.
Yeah, championships and champions are made by the entire team, but the bench is so important, 42-8. That's the comparison, Angel. The bench has been spectacular today, and that's what you want. That's the championship culture, the whole bench able to contribute.
Texas has 4 players in double figures. Leah Moore continues to build on her career high, 21 points. She's only missed 1 shot from the field, 9 for 10. She hit 10 free throws in the previous game. She was perfect from the stripe. She's only missed 1 today. Desperation shot in the corner, and that one's no good, and it's just a tough situation for Utah. Time not on their side, less than 2 minutes in this ball game, and you feel for this squad. They have 2 seniors on their roster, Drew Gilton and Andrea Torres. Torres actually out for the season. She got injured in that Stanford game. And Drew Gilton, we talked about her, one of your favorites, actually, the way that she could handle the rock. She had 11 assists in the first round. And in this ball game, she has 5, but only 2 points. Joanne Allen Taylor with the bucket. And you can see Utah not too thrilled about what they're seeing unfold here in the Irwin Center. It's been all Texas, 76-52 in this one with 1:24 to go in the ball game. And let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. None other than the freshman phenom, Aaliyah Moore, with another career high that she set back-to-back times in the tournament.
Aaliyah Moore has her name all over this basketball game. 21 points. She's missed only one shot, Angel. She's been so effective driving into the lane, making easier post-ups, and one. She's been solid, been great off the bench for Texas.
You know one thing? I think she's working for that selfie that you guys took at the beginning of the game. Coach came over to us and she said, I took the picture on my phone and I told Aaliyah that she cannot get the picture with Chelsea Gray unless they win tonight. So far, she's working hard for that picture.
Great kid, great energy. She had the energy during shoot-around today. So no wonder she had a great performance, and it doesn't stop there as Natasha Lattimore gets the easy two.
Another freshman for Texas. Their future is bright, but on the other side, Utah. They come in this ball game with only 2 seniors, and we talked about their leading 2 scorers being freshmen as well, and they created so much history within this program, getting back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2011. They were hungry for that first Sweet 16 within this program. With this group, we'll be a little short, but you got to credit them getting to their first ever, their program's first Pac-12 title game. Coming into this one, being challenged every single night, but Texas was just a little bit too much for them to handle in this ball game.
Yeah, you have to credit Texas. They've done a great job. I know this is painful for Utah, but they've had a great run and a great time here at the tournament. I know they have to be proud of their efforts.
And Texas continues to dance. Coach Schaefer said, this is the last college ball game in this building. Let's make sure we give this building what she deserves. They advance to their second consecutive Sweet 16, and you can see the embrace at half court with Vic Schaefer and Lynn Roberts. Lynn Roberts did a phenomenal job with this team. Another 20-win season. And you can't say enough about this club and how hard they fight. I know that they didn't get the results that they wanted, but Utah, one of those teams that has put the world on notice, and a lot of bright future for them coming in for even next season.
Yeah, I'm excited for next year for them. They have some great pieces to build off of. They have the tournament experience now with their freshmen, with Neepkins. They have to be proud of their efforts.
But it's all about the Longhorns. You see it there